see Dick Grayson say "fuck Batman," sure.
We've completely lost Richard to this. I have the feeling that he just wants to blow the DC world up for what they're doing.
Yeah.
They have the successes of Shazam. I still can watch Shazam anytime it's on TV and enjoy it. The original Wonder Woman is a fun film, except for the end.
Mm-hmm.
1984 was kind of a mess. But
although
it's one of those things where you want to see that they should take the 1984 and re-edit it and make it a shorter movie, more interesting movie.
Yeah, and also
it could be pared down to like 40 minutes. And I think be a good movie.
Well, also in the Me Too era, please don't have Diana be okay sleeping with the man that's not the man she's in love with, but because
correct.
It's the man she's. I was like, wow, that's ooky. That's wrong.
I will say it was nice.
We talked about Wonder Woman already on our in between.
Yeah. It was nice in Justice League that they did make a call back to Wonder Woman with Ares being a good guy in this movie and almost winning the war for everybody. And then he turns evil and as the future goes on.
Well, okay, let's talk about the nice things. And I'm trying to think of where this falls in the film. One of the things that I enjoyed was Martha coming to visit Lois. That scene. Mm-hmm. That's early on in the film. You've seen that moment, right, Richard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it becomes that it's not Martha.
It's John Jones, the Martian Manhunter.
And I thought I liked that.
Who has been the general in the other, DC movies that Zack Snyder has done.
And I like that moment. I thought, okay, this is a nice way to do this, and it had just that much joy to. I liked it because it wasn't expected, Richard. I see you wincing over there. I didn't expect that, and especially because I'd seen that kind of moment in the Whedon cut, and I was like, kind of milquetoast. Here it is, another moment. At least this was somebody turning the screw just a little bit.
It was upsettingly manipulative.
It is, but at the same time, at least if you're going to manipulate
I like to see Martian Manhunter pop up. I thought it was fun to find out he was there, but he should have been playing something that was pushing something a little further along, not pretending to be Superman's mom.
Well, you're not further in the movie, so I can't talk about why he really did that.
All right, but the fake crying and trying to console her, like I said, that was odd. I was okay when it was just her and Lois
and Martha having a talk. And they dropped the whole thirsty stuff.
But when we find out that it was Martian Manhunter, it's just
well, okay. If we're going to get into the things like that bother you, want to talk about manipulative? Martha losing the farm after the previous film, when Bruce knows who she is, and who her son he knows
is.
Who the son was, and the son died. He should hear billionaire
that
boy.
That would have been one of the first things he does.
It's like no, that's not happening. So that's manipulative.
You never have to want again.
That is that Bruce wouldn't let that happen. That character, he is too smart for that. He's too good for that. I think back to what the Batman and Superman animated series did with those characters together, and that episode where they find out who each other is so fucking smart. Bring in Bruce Timms and all these people that did that and make them make this universe of films, of live action films, and you might have something that fucking works. But as this goes, again, Zack Snyder, visually is very interesting. As a storyteller, he's very hit or miss. I mean, you watch Watchmen, and I still can't figure out what's wrong with Watchmen because it's literally almost like taking pages of the comic book and putting them on screen. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe he's too literal with things.
Yeah. I like Flash. I like him being kind of zen at some points. I like how the reason, even though the costume I think we've all kind of agreed it's kind of clunky, but maybe they're going to improve it in the future as the movies, if they were going to go on. Him exploding out of his clothes when he moves and affecting the environment when he runs and stops so fast. I like little things like that.
I like the way Affleck looks. I think he looks good. I don't have a problem with him as Bruce. I actually don't like Jeremy Irons as Alfred at all.
The rationale for why the boxes wake up, I like that. The last Guardian on Earth, the Kryptonian has died, so now we can come back and get the boxes instead of them just randomly waking up. I like
Yeah, I don't think I ever understood why they woke up in the weed cut. I think they just all of a sudden were there. And
it always felt like Steppenwolf showed up, so they woke up, which made no sense.
Yeah.
I like Steppenwolf, trying to be, he fucked up sometime in the past and he owes his big debt.
I like that too.
I like the Themyscirians. I like they made them more badass in this one.
What are the Themyscirians? Are they the flying insects?
The Amazons. The Amazons.
Okay.
Yeah, when they're guarding everything, and I'm going to feast on your fear, and we have no fear, and all that kind of shit. The fact that they're willing to sacrifice themselves more in this movie than the other ones. There was a lot more that made sense in this movie that since it wasn't a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about the ending because Richard's not there yet.
Well, let's talk about Frankensteining. When you do this, when a studio steps in and an executive all but says this is the film we have to make, so you can almost imagine. You know
what it is? It's Superman 2. I mean, Justice League is Superman 2. You have a really good first movie. You have a movie. Whether or not you agree with it, the first movie has a vision. So whether or not you agree with it, Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel had a vision because it came from one director. You get Justice League, that's a mess. You get Superman 2, that has some great parts. Justice League had some good parts in it. And then it just got messed. You got flying saran wrap Superman symbols and stuff like that. And this, in Justice League, you
don't like the saran wrap Superman signal?
No, I know.
Even as a kid,
we can all just disappear.
One of the things that I hate is I actually really like Henry Cavill, and I think with a better director, he could have been a good Superman. And I think that Snyder again, the joy. Superman should have joy in it. It should have wonder.
Well, I mean,
and I think Cavill could have done that.
What Richard said is this DC universe was summed up in Batman versus Superman when Superman has to fly off and kill Batman. He talks to Lois. He goes, nothing good can last in this world. That's Snyder's universe. Nothing good can last in this world.
Yeah. So my heart breaks for Zack Snyder that the reason, he not only does he get removed from something he's worked so long on, done so much for,
and he had future plans for,
but then it's hidden behind the fact that his child committed suicide, and they take that opportunity to remove him and put somebody else to hack and whack something. Shame on Warner Brothers for that alone. That's such a
they should have just delayed it and let him, finish it up, if nothing else.
Yeah,
but no, they had a date to hit, I'm sure.
And he keeps coming back and to his credit saying, I don't think there's anything left for me to do in that world. I can't help but think that he doesn't think I don't want to work for Warner Brothers again because what they did to me.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. It's still a mess of a film. I find it more enjoyable, even though I do question the aspect ratio thing because it's IMAX.
Well, yeah. What you can say is, that's what it would have been in IMAX, and then eventually there would have been a theatrical release of it, so it would have had the 16:9 or whatever aspect ratio they would have put it in, and then the DVD release would have had you can watch it which way you want to, IMAX or theatrical.
Well, we can get into a battle over how much I despise this idea that we're putting IMAX in theatrical releases. It's The Dark Knight. It drives me batshit crazy when it goes boom, boom, boom.
You don't like seeing the aspect ratio change?
No, it's stupid. Stop it.
The same thing happens on Tenet if you watch it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. They don't do it on digital or whatever, but if you watch it on physical media, they do that word aspect. Every time they were outside, he shot IMAX.
Well, I can promise you this. I'm never watching that movie again, so I won't ever see it.
But have you already watched it again in reverse and you just don't know it yet? And maybe you have watched it and will watch it again in some never-ending loop.
Hey, Mandemus.
Some temporal
I don't need you playing word games with me because this whole... No, I will never watch that movie no matter how you describe it. No. Anyway, Richard's being very silent. I know that he has not seen the end. Is there anything else you want to throw in? I assume by your face alone that you just don't care for the Zack Snyder DC films at all.
Correct. That is it.
So
there's nothing I can honestly contribute other than just being negative. So That's it.
But by the way, one thing that I love Amy Adams as an actor, she should not be Lois Lane. She drives me crazy in the film. It's like, oh.
Well, anyway, Richard, come on. You know what they say. If you can't say something nice,
it's our podcast. Say every ugly thing you want. Just go on a tirade. You have 1 minute. Go.
This is better than the movie that I saw. It's better than the movie that it was before. And I just don't like who these people are or this universe.
I do think that with what you said about how.
Oh, by the way, there is no post-credit scene. So when the movie ends, you can stop. You don't have to watch anymore.
With Jeff Johns
I'm barely sticking around for the time it is in the movie.
Do you think that Jeff Johns makes everything dark, or has led to that because of the success of the Batman films, and we feel like because Batman's a dark character that we have to make everything else dark? And I think that Batman, not every element of Batman is dark, but at its core it is. And because I think even with Batman Begins, there's a little bit of sweetness to the Alfred Bruce relationship that we don't even see that come into Snyder. I mean, is that why Johns goes for this very dark, heavy feel, do you think?
I don't know, and it wasn't something that started out that way. I mean, he had a run on Flash that was actually really good and great, and then he kind of turned to Green Lantern, did some great stuff with Green Lantern, and then at some point, midway through the success of Green Lantern, he started doing movie work, and all of a sudden everything became terrible. He just finished. I mean, not terrible, but just dark. He just
Justice League and all the the
Batman 3 joke. He did the Batman 3 Jokers. He did what's that one? The DC Universe Watchmen Doomsday Clock. I mean, it all ever since then it's just been kind of like this. His influence on the second Wonder Woman film. His influence on the retelling of Green Lantern's origin and Barry Allen's origin. And it's sometime in the mid-2000s when New 52 launched and they decided to make everything dark. And I don't know why that was their answer. And then they it's whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just it's not.
You know what? You don't have to watch the movies.
I'd love to see, I'm very excited to see Matt Reeves' Batman because as we've talked about before, Matt Reeves, and you'll get to see this eventually, Richard does a fantastic job with his 2 films. Spot on, great director. And I have faith that he's going to bring something interesting and hopefully we'll enjoy. But I almost would like to see DC take a brave step and strip everything back and maybe build their DC universe either through streaming content or something. Just do something to start over. Give me, at this point, you've bungled it. I had hope with Wonder Woman until I saw 1984, and now I think you're even kind of crapping on that. So kind of start over. Give us something new and find a new approach to it. I'm bored with what they're doing.
Well, we got Shazam 2 at some point.
That is true. Okay, Shazam's good. Yeah. All right, there it is. I'll hang my hope on Shazam. Yeah. All right, you guys got anything else?
No,
everyone have a great week. We'll be back next week, 5 more minutes, and by then maybe Richard will have seen the end and he'll just completely shit all over Justice League for us and entertain us. Anyway, for Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.